Hi, it's Jen. I'm here again with another Let's Play video where I'm going to be giving my first impressions of a visual novel called Asterism. Again, this is just going to be my first impression, so I won't be getting deep into like the characters of the plot. I'll be focusing more on just the presentation and what immediate kind of just feelings that I have about it. So let's go ahead and get started. This game appears to be made in Ren'Py. I'm always interested to see what other developers are making in Ren'Py, since I've also been working in Ren'Py. Immediately, I think the logo is fantastic. It has these great complementary kind of like blue and yellow contrast here. Nice clean font, but very unique little embellishments on this I and on the M here. Nice clean stroke around it. Just makes everything very easy to read. And this kind of cute little constellation here, along with these stars, gives me a really good feel of like kind of like a theme for the game. Again, we have constellations, which is really cute. Looks like we have a lot of options here. Little zodiac symbols here in these parameter bars, very cool. And it seems like we have a lot of options, a lot of extra goodies, so that's very cool to see. I like the way this menu looks. I'm a little confused as to why we have kind of these menu options here and then we also have them here. It probably works just here. This is super cute, but it might be a little bit redundant because I think all of these options are still available here, aren't they? Except for the start option. This is a nice text box. I like the design of it, the colors of it, the themes incorporated in it. The font is very clean and very legible. The amount of margin around the with the text inside the box is very small. I guess it's less of a margin than what I'm used to, so it kind of makes it feel a little like cramped in there to me. But that just might be what I'm used to. And I definitely want to try the RPG VN mode. I'd like to see what they kind of came up with in Ren'Py to incorporate RPG elements to the visual novel gameplay. This is another cute little menu hub here. It looks like we're having inner monologue that's like in a slightly italicized font. Or narration. That was a really cute transition with the stars. Okay, so we went ahead and jumped into a battle here. There's a couple things that I think where there could be an opportunity to convey the information a little bit easier to the player. It looked like in this corner we had something that was like a turn indicator, that it was Ophi's turn. And then we have over here in our attack, our options, that it's Ophi's turn, and then we have kind of like a gauge here to show their health bar. I think that let me play through it first and then I'll give more of an opinion. Where would you like to target? Okay, turn. It looks like he should. Okay, so the Spectre's turns went by really fast. I barely caught that. And it looks like they attacked Ophi. And now it's Ophi's turn again. Looks like they have to target somebody, but the Kotachi does not. Looks like they can just attack, and it's kind of like a group hit. Gained experience. I feel like there could have been a little bit more visual representation of what was happening just now, or maybe a little bit more narration to explain what was happening instead of having it all said through dialogue. So that was kind of a lot to happen through just the conversation. Like there was action going on while they were talking. Okay, so now we're jumping into another battle. So I do have a few comments after the battle, after kind of processing the battle that, the first battle that we performed. And I think what it is that we have instruction and information to the battle on this side of the screen, and then we have our attack options and information on this side of the screen, and then we have like general these are kind of like text information on this side, on the left side, and then on the right side, and then we have visual information in the middle. I spoke a little bit about this in the last game that I played about not wanting to have my eyes kind of have to ping pong back and forth. So with the text information appearing on one side of the screen and then having to go to the other screen to select the options and to kind of reaffirm whose turn it is, I think that either this attack skill items information could maybe be in the lower left hand side of the screen, below kind of where like the turn text is telling you and the attack text is telling you. Or you could have the turn data kind of like appearing, since it kind of appears and then disappears, it could just appear in the middle of the screen to tell the turn. Or you could kind of avoid all of that by having as much information be purely visual instead of being like text prompted. So maybe even just highlighting the character portrait during their turn, I think would tell you whose turn it was, and you could have then the attack skill and item like just kind of maybe floating above them, and you could highlight it there. Having the enemies like flicker or kind of just do a slight jump or a slight movement to show that it's their turn. Having numerical value actually kind of like appear above or on them as they're taking damage. You know, a lot of techniques that are already used in a lot of turn-based RPGs. When you are trying to tell people information in as little time as possible, and you want something like a battle to be fairly like fast-paced, especially if it's just kind of an exchange of blows. If it's not like a narrative battle that's like heavily scripted with all these important like kind of like strategies going on, I think generally you want the flow of combat to be pretty speedy. So having things like information on the left side and then on the right side, and having it like text-based, is all things that kind of like slow down that kind of fluidity of combat. But let me just take this opportunity to also say that I'm super just impressed in general with like implementing this element in an RPG in a visual novel engine. I think is really cool. And we can see here that the when I hover over to select the target, it's already lit up. So I think that if you went a little bit further and just made that even lighter and just have them even flicker when they attack, would be like a quick solution too, just to give more visual information as to what's going on. And those big portraits, those big attack portraits, are super cool too. I know it would probably be a lot of work, but having like large attack portraits for the monsters as well would also help to kind of like you know, make the battle feel a little bit more cohesive. Because like I kind of almost just like totally miss when it's like their turn, until I see that the life bar is like depleted. And I don't think the solution would be to make the text stand longer, because again, you're just going to slow down the flow of combat. I'll say it does feel a little bit strange. I know it has to do with the small size of this character, but just feel a little bit strange for them to be kind of like floating while in like this standing position. Maybe we could make them, since they kind of seem like magical, maybe they could be just kind of floating instead of like standing on invisible ground. It kind of, because I feel like they should be sharing like the same kind of plane as this companion character is. It's just, it feels a little bit strange having them like kind of standing on some kind of invisible surface. But I realize that the character would be like way too short if you tried to have them actually standing on the same ground as this character is, or they'd have to be like super far away. So yeah, that's an interesting problem that happens in VNs. But maybe because it's so easy to already have the feeling of like a character in a setting, like it's easy to have that immersion broken because it's so obviously layered, that I feel like having a character that's just kind of floating, like it makes that problem, it just exasperates that problem more. Reminds me of like a Pokemon. That's cute having it come down here. Was it just me pressing buttons too fast? That transition felt super abrupt. Is there any way for me to go back? I don't think there's a back option. This is cute. So now we have kind of this this top-down adventure game style mode. And it looks like there's some random things that I can click on, but I'm not quite sure what those things are. It would be nice to have some type of a hover indicator to let me know what I can interact with. Because sometimes I can't tell if it's just the I can't tell if it's that I can't interact with it, or if it's like a space that I just can't move on, like at this TV here. And I guess these are doors, which I wouldn't have known if I wasn't just trying to click on them. I can go, oh, I can go inside the white doors. And it looks like that I can pause and unpause. I'm not really sure what advantages that I have to pausing or unpausing in this state of the game. And it looks like I can still access the menu when I hit escape, like most RenPy games, but my kind of little menu hub in the corner is gone. I think this is probably a pretty good place to stop. I am very impressed with how many different kind of like gameplay elements that they've put together in this engine. A lot of it is like pretty unique, and it kind of gives me some ideas of like just how customizable the engine is, and like trying to incorporate other gameplay elements. And I think that's really cool. I think some of them could be maybe refined a little bit more, but again, like it probably has also something to do just with like the engine itself, because there are engines that are built for like making RPGs. It might feel a little bit like less polished, like creating these elements from scratch in an engine that wasn't designed with that specific type of gameplay in mind. So you're kind of building more things from the base up. So I'm really impressed by it. I hope to see more from this project, and if you're interested in downloading and trying out this demo for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description below. Thanks very much for watching with me, and as always, enjoy the process. Bye now.